So, our talk today is completing 2020. And someone said that incomplete endings inhibit new beginnings. And so, we're going to get a head start on completing this year and completing it well. Now, in our Science of Mind textbook, Ernest Holmes writes, "He who deserts the truth in the hour of need proves that he does not know the truth." And perhaps your experience in 2020 was, I need some truth right now. And perhaps you deserted it and just gave up. I know a lot of people are saying things like, I just can't wait till 2020 is over. Like there's something wrong with the year. You know, 2020. Go back into that quantum thing that Jeff had going there. What is time? What is a year? What's 2020? But it is an opportunity, because the human race does like to count things that way, to take a look at ourselves, to take stock, of how well are you doing living your life. Not the life that your parents wanted for you, not the life that you think you should lead, but the life that makes you happy. How happy are you? And so I like to take stock at the end of the year. I like to take stock mid-year. I like to September, on my birthday. I just like to take stock lots and lots of times. But I was listening to a young man, Jesse Ecker, Eker. He did a podcast mid-year where he did a review of the second quarter for us. So he does some sort of quarterly reviews, and I happen to tune in the middle of the summer. And he asked some questions which I found valuable to consider and to plot my course for the remainder of the year. And I forgot all about it, by the way, although I came across it this past week. And I looked at what I had written and I realized, very interesting, what I had written about my life actually affected my life. So, how well have you been doing this year? So, we've had an unusual world event which altered our habits, our behaviors, our usual ways of entertaining ourselves and living our lives and going about our business. And so as a result of this gift that was given to us, some aspects of ourselves that we might not have been aware of got exposed. So you might have some new information about yourself and how well you live your life. You might not like it, or you might like it. So as you look back over this past year, let's ask the positive first of all. What did you find out about yourself this past year that you like, that worked? What worked? It might have surprised you, but what worked? And as those ideas flow, you might also invite into your awareness what did not work. What aspects of yourself might need improvement? Or what did you not accomplish because? So given the givens, I'm not inviting you to say what didn't work in the world, because who cares? What's that got to do with you? What did not work with you? Maybe you were more afraid than you thought you would be. Maybe you discovered that you do depend upon the world for your happiness more than your own inner state. Or maybe you discovered you're more resilient than you thought. Maybe you discovered that you're flexible, that you adapted. Maybe I want to read this quote from Rumi that Edwin Gaines posted at some point, who knows when, but he wrote, "Try not to resist the changes that come your way. Instead, let the life live through you. And do not worry that your life is turning upside down." How do you know that the side you are used to is better than the one to come? I'm laughing because I'm writing my book, actually completing writing my book, and the one phase of growth, which I call all hell breaks loose, I described to a friend of mine that it's as if the universe picks you up by your feet and turns you upside down and shakes you. And then all the stuff drops out, whatever. So that might be the illustration on the cover of the book. But so in a sense, the divine picked us all up this year and turned us upside down and shook us and might still be shaking us. And what's coming out? What's coming out of the pockets and our guts that we didn't know was hiding there? Fear about, maybe we weren't clear enough about health. Maybe we thought we were healthy because everything around us was healthy. But when you're confronted with this thing, immediately when this that which shall not be named showed up in on the planet into my awareness, I had to do a lot of spiritual work getting clear that it is my consciousness of health that creates my health, and that it is unaffected by the suggestions in the world. And so maybe you did better. Maybe you're one of my affirmations for myself, which I think is kind of a truism about me, is I am doing better than I think I am. Because I tend to, look, what's wrong with you, honey? But I am doing better than I think I am. And so for all of you who are here now, we're here now. So something happened so that we are here now. So what was it? What was the good? And what was some of the surprising things that you didn't realize about yourself that you don't want to carry into 2021? Right? As Ernest Holmes said, he who deserts the truth in the hour of need proves he does not know the truth. Maybe we need to know the truth better. Maybe we need to get into our spiritual practice. Maybe we need to get into our science of mind. Maybe we need to get into a class. Maybe we need to really study or contemplate and meditate with the divine. Get our relationship with the divine stronger. There may be some things that we did do that served us well spiritually, and some things more that we need to do. Robert Britzer used to recommend that we seize hold of every doubt that we discover in ourselves, because that doubt is a clue as to where we need to get clearer about spiritual truth. And so up until the events of this past year, we may have done pretty good with the truth that we knew, coasted on it. It was pretty good. But no matter how much truth any of us knew before this experience of the world that's going on, boy, every one of us have had to get clearer about truth, about this teaching, about what do you believe? What do you believe? And also, how much of us gave up on our lives, on our happiness, on our joys, waiting for all of this to get over with? Or did we learn how to create new joys and new interests and get involved in new activities? Ernest Holmes also says, principle is not based on precedent. And so even though we had unprecedented times, they are not the precedent for our experience. We're free. And what is it that we are doing with our freedom? Maybe we forgot we were free. Maybe we just got caught up and Maybe we needed a nice long time out. Okay, then that's a good thing. You had a nice long time out. Put it on your list. What worked? I finally learned how to sleep. That's actually true of me. I sleep really well. Didn't before this year. Now I just want to go to bed and let's not go into the reasons, but I improved my sleeping. Okay, so what worked, what didn't work, and now when you're thinking about this year, we're not done. That's why I gave you all our next Sundays and what's all coming up, whatever. We've got like 3.5 more weeks. So ask yourself the question, what am I most confident about right now? What am I most confident about right now? That requires some thinking. I noticed when I worked on this 6 months ago, I actually didn't put an answer down. What am I most confident in right now? Finally, something came to me. I'm most confident that I am getting better. I am. I got better this year. It took some doing. If I could get better this year, then I'm getting better. And I'll only get better the easier the world gets. So what are you most confident in right now? And then, what am I most excited about? And you might have to be creative. There might not be much in the world that excites you, but what excites you right now? What can you get really excited about if you get involved with it? What am I most excited about? And he recommended that you come up with 10 things that you are excited about. That's really a stretch, right? But good Lord, right? Good Lord. Infinite possibilities yet to be, right? Infinite possibilities yet to be. You can't come up with 10? I think we just need to spend some time with this idea. What could I get excited about? What if it were present I would get excited about? And be aware of this. And then that final question by Jesse, what do I want to do? So as you look at your self-assessment, your evaluation of how well that you have done with your living this past year, what do you most want to do? Years ago, I think it was Stephen Covey, I was working with his book, probably What Matters, First Things First. And I believe in it, he asked the question, what 10 things do you want to accomplish before you leave the planet? He phrased it differently. And I wrote a list. And they were, some very tangible things, like I want to make so much money, or I want to, learn German, something, stuff like that. But it also were some qualities. And so some of the things that I had on that list is I wanted to become a really responsible and good pet owner. And I wanted to get clear about my body and its weight. And so there were some other big things like that, which had to do with being on a journey, being on a path, a project for myself, so that I could see these ideas, the tangible things as a list to be crossed off, but then that there would also be those things of who I wanted to become. And I remember one of the things on my list, which is I wanted to see my niece grow into being a healthy, happy adult. And she has. Hey, Kim. Crossed it off my list. Mission accomplished. You're on your own, Kim. Okay. So with all of this contemplation that's twirling around in you, we've got a few weeks now to live with this self-evaluation, to think about it, and to think before year end, what is one thing you want to accomplish? Now, it can be, you know, take down the Christmas tree from last year. I don't know. I mean, it could be something very practical, and because it has meaning to you, it doesn't have to have meaning to anything else. But it also might be some sort of spiritual work, like forgiveness. Maybe one of the things that we want to consider before we leave 2020 is to forgive it, to forgive the world, to forgive ourselves. Maybe if, as you look back upon what your experience of this year, you're living this, maybe to you it seems like it was just a mess. It was just a total disaster. Nothing was good. Nothing happened. And I'm not proud of how I behaved. Well, then, before this year ends, you might want to consider forgiving yourself. Forgiving yourself for not taking the opportunity that you thought you would do if you had lots and lots of time. There's a little creature walking around the floor right now. It's got, there's a, the people who are sitting, they've all got their legs up like this. As our practitioner intern of the day lovingly attempts to escort the critter out of the room, and the little creature does not want to leave the room. Okay, so taking all these thoughts into your mind with this one idea of what is it that I need to do to let this year go with peace and have a fresh start. And it may be, let me just close that chapter in my heart, write down what I've learned and what I might want to grow in next year. And in thinking about what it is that you want to accomplish and what it is that you want to change, you can also start planning about it, as in, what do I need to accomplish this, to be successful in achieving this? If I realize I need to forgive myself and the world and the government and everybody else, maybe you don't like the election results, maybe you don't like a lot of the way things are handled, maybe, I don't know. There's so much, right? Isn't there? So maybe you do feel that you would like to not carry all of that anger or self-judgment with you into the next year. And so, yeah, forgiveness is the perfect practice for that. And 2 Wednesdays from today, Susan's group, Wednesday evening, will have that forgiveness practice for you to engage in. So what is it that I need to help me accomplish this, to make it easier? Maybe I need a class. Maybe I need to change my routine. Maybe I need to find a group who will support me. So I'll share with you one of the things on my lists mid-year, what didn't work. I think this was really interesting. What didn't work? No activity on books. And I've got to look, because Susan created this little group that I'm a part of, where for some reason it's working for me, and I've been writing my book, my first book. And it's been, the first draft is pretty much done. So I forgot that I put this on the list, but yet something got created to support me the way I am. And one thing I've learned about myself, I learned about this before 2020. I learned this about myself, that I do much better. I'm much more successful when I'm with a group of people doing something. So, I will exercise much, more vigorously if I'm with a group of people. On my own, nothing happening. And so I learned that about myself. And look at this. Life created a group of people where we really are alone. We're all on Zoom and we all turn off the video, we all turn off the sound, and we're all writing our books. And so we're really alone, but I feel like I'm with others. And so that's just something that works for me. But you see, your greater good that you're desiring, you are allowed to have your own idiosyncrasies and your own needs that can support you in living your life more easily. So we only get into a lot of trouble. One of the ways that we get into a lot of trouble is by thinking the way we have to grow is a certain way, and that way doesn't work for us. So what have you learned from this year about what works for you? Some people learned that they like being left alone. The audience is laughing. Some people learned that they need people more than they thought they did. That would be me. I thought I was better alone. Apparently I've changed, because now I know I'm better with other people. So what have you learned about yourself, as in what worked, what's working for you, and what's not working for you? And then what do you want? What are you confident in, if anything? What are you excited about? And what do you want to do? No reasons, no excuses. This is a place where you don't have to justify why you want what you want or why you're excited about what you're excited. This is about you. This is the way you are. And it's about becoming more you right now, more you. And next year too, even more. So let's complete this year. Let's say it was good. If there's nothing else I learned I need to beef up my spiritual practice. It was worth the price I paid. Thank you very much, right? And it's over. So let's go forward in our meeting today, and Reverend Rich is ready to play another song for us. And when we come back, I'll do a spiritual mind treatment. So you can keep thinking about these questions. We'll get a treatment to help us complete the year.